If you bought bread in Canada in the last 20 years, you might be entitled to getting some money back. A judge in Ontario approved a $500 million settlement in a long-running bread price-fixing case. Grocer Loblaw and its parent company admitted to fixing prices years ago, starting in the early 2000s. Now some shoppers who paid about $1.50 more per loaf may be entitled for up to $20. So our next guest is one of the lead lawyers who negotiated this settlement. Jay Strosberg is managing partner at Strosberg, Wingfield, Sasso LLP, and he joins us from Windsor, Ontario. Jay, what's the significance of this settlement?
Well, the significance is, to start with, it's the largest, the largest settlement of a price fixing case in Canadian history. So the sheer size of it is significant. The case is actually probably one of the largest settlements other than with the government. Not just in price fixing. So again, the size is significant, but also the scope in terms of how many people were affected. So we're talking about almost everybody in the country who's probably impacted by this conspiracy.
I'm sure it's complicated, but what's the short explanation of what exactly happened here?
Well, I have to be careful because one party is admitted responsibility, actually two, but the allegations are that over 14 years, there was a horizontal and vertical price fixing conspiracy. So that means the two companies were the industrial bakers and the rest were retailers, and they got together and agreed to raise prices in concert so that the impact was a few cents per loaf, but over time that accrues to hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's something that you wouldn't notice on a day-to-day basis, but they were able to reap the benefits.
Yeah, so, sometimes when it comes to gas prices, for example, and there are a few other products as well, I know that people kind of, skeptically, maybe even cynically say, oh, the companies all get together and they work out what the prices are going to be. It's illegal to do that, right? And when you do it, and if you get caught, I guess this case shows there can be consequences.
Absolutely. So you think about it in two ways. The first is criminal problems, which we don't deal with. We deal with private enforcement. So Canada Bread, for example, has pleaded guilty to 2 counts of price fixing, and they paid a $50 million fine. That's one side of it. Then there's the civil side, is what we do. And so we recover money on behalf of consumers, then we distribute it. But the difference between the Weston Group is that they came to the table and they're making it right, whereas Canada Bread, for example, admitted to doing it, and they haven't done anything. They haven't put a dollar on the table for over 20 years. So I'll just put that out there.
So everybody who's eligible here to get a piece of those damages, they would probably call it a refund, is those who bought bread within a fairly big time period, bought bread at the grocery store. So how do they go about getting that money, and how much money are we talking about?
CanadianBreadSettlement.ca. You got to go to the website and you have to register. That's for everybody outside of Quebec. There's another website. I'm not sure what it is for Quebec residents, but so this is the first step. The settlement was approved in Ontario for the rest of Canada. In June, the settlement will hopefully be approved by the judge in Quebec. And once that happens, you have to go to that website, CanadianBreadSettlement.ca, provide your information, and it's a very complicated administration process. So your question about how much can they get, it depends how many people come forward. For example, if 1 million people come forward, they're going to get more. But if 25 million people come forward, you might get less. So it's what we call, the term of art is the take-up rate. So depending upon how many people take up the settlement, the payout will vary.
And so let me use myself as a theoretical example. If I bought bread, first of all, what time period are we talking about?
In the last 20 years, let's just say ballpark.
Okay, which in fact I did. I did buy bread in the last 20 years.
There you go. Make sure to go to that website tonight.
I go to the website, I register. Obviously, I don't need receipts. And then at some point, I'll get notified what the take-up rate was, and therefore how much I'll get. Exactly.
That's exactly right. I can't say it any better than that.
Well, how about this part, though, which I think there's probably no answer to, but is it going to be, do we have any idea what the range is going to be? Is it going to be $10, $25, $100?
It could be from $10 to $25 or $30. We I'm not trying to be difficult, but we literally don't know because, a difference of a few million people claiming is all the difference, right? So that's the most important thing is that. But look, the important thing is that I want as many people to go to that website and to register because we want to distribute as much money as possible. And I just want to make one more point, which is that this is the first settlement. We are now, and part of the settlement is we have a cooperation agreement. We're going to get the goods on everybody else. So that means we're going to have what we need to go to trial. And hopefully we're going to have more money either by way of settlements or at the end of a trial to distribute.
So a small amount to each individual consumer, but they need to register, and even $10 is better than not having $10. But I guess the last point, we only have seconds left, is that the cumulative impact of this, the total amount that, for example, Loblaw has agreed to pay, feels like a pretty big burden.
It's a deterrent. That's exactly right. $500 million is a lot of money. So, it's a message to other companies. You can't engage in this kind of conduct because you're going to be next.
Congratulations on the win, Jay, the settlement. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Jay Strosberg, a managing partner at Strosberg, Winfield, Sasso, LLP.